Hey guys, welcome back. It's Krazy Kajeevie here for the James Bond Show, and this episode is brought to you by Danny Boyle's Grudge Against Eon Productions. Anyway, guys, here is a little Acrostar mini jump jet, unlicensed James Bond toy, because today I am reviewing Octopussy, the 13th James Bond film, 125-minute runtime. The budget was $35 million and it made $187.5 million in 1983 when it went up against the unofficial James Bond film starring Sean Connery, Never Say Never Again. So, the start of the film, we start in the pre-title sequence where Roger Moore's James Bond is in Cuba, we believe, and he's trying to blow up a Cuban airbase with a bomb. He's disguised as a General Toro, I believe it is, and he's got the little fake moustache and the hat and all that. And this PTS, whoa. He gets captured, the real Toro comes out, captures him, he's put into a truck, which I'm going to touch on in a moment. He's whisked off, he escapes, and he's in a horse cart, and I have the little toy in there. He's in a little horse cart, and suddenly the door comes down, and a jet plane comes out of the horse cart, out of basically like the horse cart's backside. It's a little Acrostar mini jump jet flown by pilot Corky Fornoff in one of the most spectacular James Bond action scenes ever put to film. It is so good. And Roger Moore, he plays it up and he loves it. He's banking the plane and turning and twisting, and he really gets into it. This is stunning, and the way that, I believe it was John Steers, the way they did the model miniature visual effects and with rear projection and everything, it was really blended well. You know, we are talking pre-CGI days really back in 1983, and it is fantastic. And I love the fact that this pre-title sequence, it's not related to the plot of the film. And I wish they would do that more often like they did in Goldfinger, and it just works an absolute treat. One of my gripes with the PTS is, come on, this guy is just trying to blow up this Cuban air base, and they put him in a cart and in like the back of a Jeep thing. No handcuffs, no restraint, no handcuffs. This British agent sitting there who just tried to blow up the base. And then the two guys that have got guns on him that are busy looking at a hot girl driving past, and that's why he escapes. He's free to pull their parachutes, hence no handcuffs. And did you hear what I said? Pull their parachutes. Why are these two guards sitting in the back of a Jeep wearing parachutes? So yes, the convenience is just crazy here for this action scene. Yeah, pull the parachutes, he escapes. So that's my only gripe with the PTS. But other than that, it is so good. So the plot, it's a little bit complicated in parts, but basically 009 gets killed in East Berlin. He rocks up at the embassy with a knife in his back. He drops a Carl Fabergé egg, which is absolutely gorgeous. That ends up back in M's office. M says to Bond, this has turned up with 009 and he's now dead, and Bond has to work out what's happened, why is he being killed. There's a General Orlov and a Kamal Khan. Kamal Khan's the main villain of the film, and he teams up with General Orlov, and General Orlov wants to start World War III, and Kamal Khan basically is in on this, and he's making all these monies and all millions of dollars on kind of racketeering with fake jewels. And so there's a bit of a trade-off with the jewels and all that, and then they get the bomb, and they put the bomb in an East German airbase, and Bond has to foil this plot. The pacing of Octopussy is really good. In most parts, it's fantastic, and it moves along beautifully. It's the first James Bond film to shoot in India, and India looks quite stunning. Now, the director of photography here, I believe it's Alan Hume again, who also did For Your Eyes Only. You can see in Octopussy, he's ramped up the colours. And I think when you film in India, because India is so known with their beautiful and stunning colours, that you have to ramp up, you know, the colour saturation a little bit in using certain film stock and in post-production. And it looks so good. Okay, so Maud Adams plays Octopussy, pretty much the title character, and she's the appropriate age love interest for James Bond. So this time there's no 23-year-old lead actresses. You've got an actress who's age appropriate for Roger Moore, and their chemistry is really, really good. And what's beautiful here is so fantastic by Michael G. Wilson and Richard Mainbaum, both the screenplay writers here, is they take parts from the Ian Fleming novels, mainly Property of a Lady, which was one of the short stories, and they take out sections like what happened with Octopussy's father and Major Smythe, and how he was basically in a way betraying England, and James Bond tracked him down and gave him an opportunity to hand himself in, and Smythe decides to take his own life instead of going in looking like a traitor. And Octopussy, so this is a little subplot here, and Octopussy appreciates that, and it makes their relationship move along nice and fast. And it's a great subplot, and not all subplots work so nicely and fit into the overall story, but this does. And what's so great about Octopussy, unlike a film like Thunderball where you know exactly what's happened and then you've just got to wait for Bond to plot along and he works out what happens, is in Octopussy you never know fully who's on whose side, what's happening, what are they using the jury for, what are they going to do with this Bond. So we learn a lot of stuff as Bond does at the same time, and that's why Octopussy works so well. Now, Louise Jordan, who passed away a couple of years ago, he plays Kamal Khan, and he plays him very kind of sleazy, you know, that sleazy, almost middle-aged Indian playboy type. And the way he says Octopussy is just, I laugh every time. Octopussy. Octopussy. It's almost like an Indian version of Sean Connery, you know, Octopussy. If Connery was Indian, he'd be speaking like this guy. Govinda is the villain, or the henchman for the villain, and he's played by Indian actor Kabir Bedi. This guy is apparently a sex god in India and was a big time well-known actor and like a sex symbol, and only in India could a 6'4" big hairy man with a turban be a sex god. Sorry guys, I'm getting slapped by the PC police for that one, but it's true. Anyway, so the film moves on and we end up in a crazy action scene on a train, and General Orlov, sorry, plot spoiler here. General Orlov, I'm going to speak more about him and Stephen Burkoff, who plays him. He basically gets killed here. Bond ends up on the train. He's trying to stop the train, and some of the intercutting between Roger Moore, it's a bit of weird projection, but Roger Moore and the stunt doubles works actually really well compared to In a View to a Kill. It works so good here. And some of the fight scenes are pretty violent and with the knife parts and that, but it's really, really good. Now, Stephen Burkoff as General Orlov. He is bonkers. He is flat out bat poop crazy, and I love him. He is so underrated, and he is one of my favourite James Bond villains, along with Gottfried John, who plays General Orlov in GoldenEye. Those two, I just love them. But General Orlov is off tap. I mean, the bit where how Steve Burkoff plays him, our atomic appraisals? I mean, he just plays it to the hilt, and he's a guilty pleasure, and he steals every scene he's in. Christina Wayborn, she plays one of the other Bond girls who's kind of Octopussy's assistant or helper, and you don't know always what side she's on. And so she plays Govinda, and she's absolutely gorgeous. She's eye candy in this film, and she's fantastic. Q has a few funny little scenes, I should say, here. And he makes an appearance at the end of the film when Bond ends up in an air balloon attacking Kamal Khan. Now, the problem with Octopussy is it's a film of two halves. John Glenn, the director, is trying to appease the Moonraker and Spy Who Loved Me crowd, and he's also trying to appease the For Your Eyes Only and the From Russia with Love fans. So he's trying to join them together. Now, when James Bond escapes at Kamal Khan's palace and ends up in the jungle, he tells the tiger to sit, Barbara Woodhouse style, and does a Tarzan yell from the trees. You edit those two silly moments out of the films because they're gags. It's not humor, it's gags. You edit those out of the film, you have got such a much better film, a more serious James Bond film. And that's a problem John Glenn failed to show restraint. Personally, I'd love to see an edit of this film with just some of that silly stuff taken out and the film played more seriously. Because in the second half of the film, when Bond's in the Alfa Romeo and he's getting to the airbase, wow, the action is intense, and Bond shoots people in the head as well just prior to getting into that car, and it's all done very seriously. Now, one of my biggest complaints is, again, against James Bond fans. or lukewarm James Bond fans that turn around and say, oh yeah, that film where James Bond gets in a clown and that's clown outfit and that's ridiculous. That's complete rubbish. When Roger Moore is dressed up as a clown, it's played not for laughs, it's played absolutely serious. He uses it as a disguise to get into the airbase and to defuse the bomb. And when Roger Moore's in there, the tension's there, and he's fantastic as James Bond, even though he's in the clown outfit. So it's a disguise. Spies use disguise, and it's good. The Q gadget that does steal the film and does, turn it into a bit almost Moonraker stuff is the crocodile submarine. But you know what? I love it. It's not in the film long, but it's a crocodile and the head comes up and Roger Moore's face is there, and I think it's absolutely gold. John Barry's back this time doing a wonderful score. I think it's a more mature age kind of score, which suits the male leads. So I like it. It's not my favourite, but I also think Rita Coolidge's all-time high. Okay, maybe a little cheesy to people now, but I love it. I think it's a great James Bond theme tune. Is it the best? No, it's probably not the best, but it suits the film, and that's the thing. The themes and everything all come together, and it suits the film. Robert Brown makes his debut here as M, replacing the late Bernard Lee, and he's serviceable. He's good. He's not my favourite M, which I've discussed in an M video, but he's still pretty good. I love Octopussy. I think it's horribly underrated. And please, guys, if you're watching this review, go stick Octopussy on and watch it. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars because it is a massive, big, fun Bond film. And it kicked Never Say Never Again's ass at the box office by about $25-30 million. And it's a big, fun film. Guys, please like, please subscribe, join the channel, share it around. Join me tomorrow as well. I'm going to be doing a View to a Kill review, and I hope you've liked this review. Give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, until then, keep on bonding.